There we go.
Hi, I'm Shirley Senerigi, and this is my husband, Rudy Senerigi. We are both retired educators. We live in Sturgeon Bay, Wisconsin, in the county of Door County. Door County is an absolutely beautiful location to live. We have a lot of tourists who travel to our area regularly.
It's referred to as the Cape Cod of the Midwest. It's beautiful, set right on the peninsula that juts into Lake Michigan.
As I said, we're retired educators. My career was in education as an elementary guidance counselor and an elementary principal, and I've been retired for about 5 years.
And I was a middle school guidance counselor, and prior to that, an industrial tech teacher. For 30 some years. I just retired here also. Actually, I retired in 2000.
In regards to describing our personalities, that'll be interesting.
Yeah.
You are.
I would say, I am fairly clever, witty, personable, easy to get along with, very, very emotive.
I think I am open. I share a lot. Family certainly very important to me, as well as my friends. Critics might say I get too detailed about specifics related to things.
Yeah, critics might think that sometimes my clever and dry and witty sarcasm gets a bit biting, I guess.
We have some hobbies that we both have and interests we both have. For example, we both are volunteers with the American Red Cross. We work with the mental health teams and have participated on several national deployments. Our most recent experience was with the tornado situation in Joplin, of course, which was very serious. And then we're both involved with the Door County Critical Incident Team, and we both participate in a variety of our Hope Church activities.
Yeah, I also am a writer. Since retirement, I've written and published 3 books.
One of them of which received the
Northeast Minnesota Book
Awards
Yep,
just last spring.
just last spring. I enjoy fishing. I'm an avid brook trout fisherman. And woodworking. I make, I used to teach woodworking, and now I make custom wood paddles for canoe people on a one-by-one basis.
I enjoy reading and participation in my local book club. I also am a reading buddy in our local elementary school, which the Reading Buddy program is something that I started professionally, and now I can participate in that as a volunteer. I love to sew, love to cook, and like to do little projects around home.
Yeah.
Well, our discounted travel experiences. We've always traveled with our children, and I think we've always tried to travel in economic ways. We are backpackers and campers, and we also have, rather than typically staying in hotels and resorts, we've always tried to find homes or cottages that we can rent where we can do some of our own cooking. And to be honest, we really like just kind of stepping into the neighborhoods and the culture of the community rather than the hotels, which are wonderful, but we just really like the neighborhoods.
Yep. The language sometimes has been a little bit of a barrier. We're pretty animated as far as getting around. We have studied Italian before we went to Italy and brushed up on that. Greek was a little tough, but we also were able to get by with Greece also.
Yeah, we use Pimsleur's audio CDs to help us learn those languages.
Interesting driving when you are listening to that and commenting to the radio.
Well, now that we're retired, we feel like we not only can travel, but we can travel to these communities and stay for longer chunks of time. However,
and because our time is more flexible too.
Yeah, we have flexible time, but we don't necessarily have more money. I mean, we live comfortably, but we don't live extravagantly.
Yeah.
And in order to spend 4 weeks in Italy or 6 weeks in Greece, we need to find an economical way to do that. And we have found house sitting a way for us to be able to have those great experiences.
Right.
We have used 3 internet sites, or belong to 3 internet sites that help us with that. One of them is House Sitters USA, another is House Carers, and another is HelpX. And we have used, actually, House Carers and HelpX, not that we wouldn't use the other one, it just hasn't worked out.
Right. And there's a little difference between the two. House Carers, basically, it's an exchange of we get to stay in someone's house with maybe some pet care, or maybe a little bit of upkeep and
gardening, watering
things like
plants.
that. HelpX is different in that you stay with the people. Sometimes there's a stipend, sometimes there's food involved, but it's more manual labor. In the HelpX, we've done things like painting. I did carpentry work and some wiring in the house. Shirley did some cooking and ironing and painting and caring for the chickens. That was a good one too.
So the HelpX arrangement is that exchange of labor for a place to stay, and we have found the HelpX people we've been with to be very flexible. Often the expectation is 3 to 4 hours of work a day in exchange for that place to stay, but sometimes we've worked long days and then had other days where we didn't work at all, and then we could do a longer distant day trip.
Right.
So anyway, we've enjoyed it. We think we've gotten pretty good at it. I guess we'd rate ourselves average to expert in using these sites.
Because now we know what to ask for and what to look for. We didn't even know the questions when we first started this, being neophytes. Strategies.
Well, it's hard to agree on where to go. So what we typically do when we get back from one trip, we get planning the next. Rudy will make his list of places that he'd like to go. I make my list of places I'd like to go. And
Independently,
and then we compare lists, and we always try to focus on the ones that we both want to go to first.
Right.
And it's always worked out for us. And then we post that in House Sitters and House Cares and watch for sites in those locations on HelpX. And if we see something that the date works, the location works, then through the site we let the owners of the homes know that we have an interest, share as much information about us as we can, and then hope that we're the ones who are selected to take care of their home and their pets.
Boy, all the free and discounted, they really weren't free, they're discounted. And we haven't won them trips, but the ones that we worked with so far. Italy, Force, Italy, March and through April of 2009. That was our first, and that was through with HelpX. We spent August through September in Pedno, Greece. Then North Carolina, December and January of 2010-11. March and April of 2011 was in Umbertide, Italy, which of course we thought was Umbertide when we went there, but we're told it was Umbertide. And then just back from Nova Scotia, Eller House, which is near Windsor, Nova Scotia, the birthplace of hockey, I'll have you know, and spent September 11th there.
And again, we would never be able to travel for these long chunks of time, 4 to 6 weeks in any of these locations without this place to stay. We did have to get ourselves there and back. And when we, like to Nova Scotia and North Carolina, we drove there, so we had our own vehicle. When we were in Europe, 2 times we rented a car, and one of the times the homeowners had a used car for us. So that was great.
Discovered places that we wouldn't have normally traveled to, the small villages, and learning about the people and hiking between them. It's been just great. Meeting the people, even in Greece, when we weren't that fluent in the language, knowing a few words and being able to connect and pick up with the folks, it's just wonderful. We also have connected with people on those trips that we keep in contact with. A couple from Scotland and England that now have a house in Italy that we connect with, and another woman in Italy who wanted us to come back and be teachers and guides for her.
As well as we stay in contact with people that we met in the small Greek village of Pedno.
Yes.
Rudy, what's our time?
We're at 8:57.
Okay. We're going to keep going just a little bit. Sure. One of the next questions is, what trip would you consider the trip of a lifetime? And I want Rudy to talk about Forte.
Yeah, and I think we should stop because we're at 9 minutes and we're going to start the next one then.